Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Cinae, and if you're returning, hey loves, what's up? So today I will be showing you how I plan on getting caught up on my bills for November. Some of these things I did go ahead and put on payment plans. Some others I went ahead and paid with Affirm or Zip or something of the sort. So it's really just making sure I pay off those payments so I don't have to worry about making those interval payments moving forward. So if you want to see how I plan on catching up on my bills, you guys, so we can get ahead, keep on watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to comment down below. Let's go ahead and get right into it. When I'm budgeting for the month, I do like to just notate which month it is, the expenses, as well as the 2 pay dates that I get in that month. That way it lets me know if I have a bill that's going to fall before I get paid or after I get paid. So just in case I need to set up payment arrangements or I need to maybe pay a bill earlier so that it is just not late, I go ahead and I put these dates down because it allows me to then move forward in knowing what to put on what check or what to pay from which check so that I don't eat through my check, you know, trying to pay off bills. I also like to go ahead and do the due date and the expenses I have. So everything above these lines are actual consistent payments that I make every month. Anything below is like a variation just in case I put something on a payment plan or, you know, I use Affirm or Zip. I don't really like doing that, but in the recent months, because I had been off from work, I did go ahead and do it that way just so it gave me a little bit more time to get more paychecks and then get some of this stuff covered. So I did go ahead and list my bills from the first of the month all the way to the end and which bill is due. They're basic bills. I do have some credit cards in here, of course. So other than that, I have like my AT&T, I have my student loans, internet, care credit, State Farm, things like that. And so then I move on to the total that's actually due for these expenses. Now, a lot of these are higher this month because I'm specifically going back and catching up on bills. So some of this has been put on payment plans that I am, you know, completing out this month, which I'm so blessed and grateful that I'm able to do that because I know for some it's just not feasible. So for me, rent does vary a little bit, but at the most point, it's going to be around like $10.70 or something like that. And the reason being is because of like water and sewage. Those do cause a variation in my rent. My Citibank and my Discover and my AT&T are quite higher than they normally are because, again, these are set up on payment plans. So they're basically me going back and paying bills that were already due. But pretty much everything else below is just the normal monthly amount, which it's all stuff I really have used or will use, like student loans, internet, Apple Music, care credit, State Farm. I really don't have too many subscriptions, but my Apple Music is very important to me, especially when I'm at work. Another thing is SeatGeek, Walmart, Amazon. These purchases are more of, they're not necessities, but they were a necessity for me. So I did go ahead and make those purchases, and I do plan on getting those completed off this month. And then last was PetSmart, and it's just because I did go ahead and buy my baby some food. So that is pretty much it for November. It's pretty simple. I already know what the amounts are roughly, and so I like to put that there going into the month so I know exactly how much I need to make from my paychecks or exactly how I need to structure or restructure my bills for them to be paid on time or to set up payment plans. My first paycheck has already passed, and that's why I didn't go ahead and do a cash budgeting video breakdown for that, because I basically went ahead and paid all of this already. So then lastly, we have moved on to my final paycheck in November. And so this would be the start of actual December's rent. So this $570 is going towards December's rent because November is completely paid off. Citibank, I'm going to go ahead and pay the remaining portion of this amount so that I'm completely caught up on that credit card. And same thing here. This actually ended up being a little cheaper than I thought it was. So I did change it to reflect the amount that's on my bill. AT&T, I actually am still on a payment plan here. So instead of me having to pay $141, it's just going to be the 2 payments of $23.08. And then on to TXU, this is going to be the difference between the original bill I paid versus what's left. And then I went ahead and did the payment for the rest of the items on my second paycheck. And the reason I chose to do it this way is because I did get overtime, as well as they do give us like a little stipend around this holiday time. So I felt like this was a really good time to use that money, you know, not to like blow it or spend it or anything like that, but to save a little bit more in my binders, as well as to get my bills paid. Because last thing I want to do is worry about my bills being behind, especially so close to the holiday, but even more so knowing that I, you know, am about to be on maternity leave. And last thing I want again is some bill collector trying to call me, trying to get some money. Like, honey, we all need money, period. Okay. So that is how I plan on getting caught up for November. These amounts can be very, very scary when you think about that. Like, honestly, $2,400 in a month. For some people, it's like that chump change. For others, it's like, who, I don't know how you do it. But when you do break it down like this, it does make it a little bit easier on you stress level. As far as like if you're making decisions on, you know, can you afford to be out a day, or you can't afford to be out a day? Maybe you do need a mental day, just to take a mental break. And sometimes we feel like we can't afford to do that, but sometimes it costs us more to not do it. And for me personally, I did find that it's very helpful to do it this way and pretty effective for me. Now, it's not to say like this is perfect and it can't use revamping. Sometimes you have to adjust this based off of what your actual goals are. And for me, this point in my life, the goal is to stay on top of my bills and be ahead, have my emergency fund, and then go ahead and stuff my cash from there. Because at the end of the day, I know what stresses me. I know what motivates me. I know what discourages me, and I have to move according to those things, because that's how I keep the motivation and keep it going. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to leave me some comments down below if you have any questions, or maybe you have a different way of doing this that you think would be helpful. I would truly appreciate it, because who wouldn't like, you know, constructive feedback? So until next time, you guys, bye.